So I'd like to say thanks to two companies to start off with. First company is Combat Gent. They gave me this very nice suit. Second company is Tommy John. And they gave me these very nice socks. So is anyone here from Combat Gent in the audience? No, they're all still asleep. How about Tommy John? Yes, thank you. Thank you. So that's it. Just want to say thanks for that. Oh, and I'm wearing my Superman belt today too, which my housemate got me from a Hong Kong vendor. It's not as exciting, but still cool. So I'd like to start off with some Australian facts. These are some people who are just going to the local supermarket. We have some really strong over-the-counter drugs. I love that. 5-meter tall spiders. They're not actually that big. They're only as big as your hand. And these are not actually the most poisonous creature in Australia. It's actually weird because this is the most poisonous creature in Australia, and really they're only about this big. And they will really screw you up. We also have a Prime Minister who's not quite the most prettiest thing in the world. So some of our Australian web developers have written a Chrome extension called Stop Tony Meow, and it actually replaces pictures of Tony Abbott with cats. So there's some Australian facts. So let's talk about adjusting adjustments. Who here has ever battled with the adjustment system within Spree? Whew, that's a lot of people. That's a problem. So, Sean had some commandments when we were refactoring the adjustment system. Sean turned and went down from the mountain, and he had 2 tablets in his hands, and they were written on both sides. And the text on these tablets was this. I'm not going to expect you to read that slide, so let's skip right over that. The gist of it was that we have to retain order-wide adjustments. So there's like all these commandments. Order-wide adjustments. Hey, like we screwed up your order, have $20 off your entire order. Simple, right? And then we have discounts and credits. So you have a coupon code of 10% off, which is 10 off, and you get 10% off for the whole weekend. And credits is just like the we screwed up your order, have $20 off your whole thing. Then we have discounts for specific customers. So for educational customers, we should be able to offer a 15% off. These are the commandments. And 5% off for members. So we have premium members, like if you sign up for a store, give us your email, we'll give you 5% off just because of that. Shipping taxation was something that we weren't dealing with before. Shipping really is a service. And in some countries, services are taxed. So if you have a $5 shipment, if it's a 10% tax, you have a 50-cent tax on that shipment. When you want to refund specific items, calculating the tax on it, for Australian tax, we have a 10% GST. And for this cart, it's going to cost, what's the total there? $39.98, but because it's an inclusive tax, the tax is actually $3.63. And therefore, if you're going to refund the item, this adjustment of $3.63 is applied to the whole order. If you're going to refund this particular item, how do you know what tax that item incurs? You can't. You have to recalculate that. So making that process easier is another commandment in the system. We also want to freeze order adjustments, because if you have a tax rate that changes, or if you have some kind of other adjustment that changes, the rules of that adjustment change, and the order updates, you don't want that adjustment randomly changing, because it might cost the user more, or it might give them free money, and you don't want to be handing out free money. We also want to enable people to be able to refund the value-added tax outside of EU. If you're an EU country, who's from the EU here? Anyone? Yeah, cool. So you guys ship globally, right? And if you ship outside of the EU, you have to refund the value-added tax, which is interesting in itself. I'll talk more about that later on. We also have to allow multiple discounts per order. This request, since I've been working at Spree, I've been working there now for 2 years. We've received this request every 3 months, I reckon. Can I combine a free shipping promotion and a % off promotion or a $1 off promotion? And we always have to write back, you can't do that. So we've got to fix that, because people keep asking about it. We've really got to fix that. And then the 9th commandment was a robust test suite. We've already got one of those. We run our code, we see it, it works really well. So we just need to add it to, we just needed to add to that. Then we wanted to scrap the events and notification system. So if you've worked with the adjustment system, you've probably come across the events and notifications. We've used active support notifications a lot throughout that code. And it's really just terrible. I mean, you have this method called fire event, and that's like magic happens here. And the code to make that happen, it finds all the spree activator instances with that specific event name, so spree.cart.add, and then it activates them. So if you have 500 promotions that are triggered when an item is added to the cart, it tries to activate all of them, and that's a problem. We have this issue called 4270. So if you have 500 promotions inside your system, this is actually a real-world case. What would happen is that it would try and activate each of those promotions, and it would apply adjustment to the order for each of the promotions, and then it would mark those adjustments as eligible or ineligible, depending on the promotion rules. So you'd have 500 insert statements added every time there was a cart, every time an item was added to the cart. And so we're trying to get rid of that system because it's just really too complex. So let's just scrap that. And this was my original slide. I thought the red without going through the and, it needs to go through the and too. So then we had some ground rules. So aside from the commandments, we also have some ground rules. So Sean had 3 lists. One was with numbers, one was with letters, and one was like I, IV, V, and etc. So this is the second list, the Roman numerals. Thank you. Ground rules were avoid excessive calculations because that just takes precious time and you want your cart to be extremely fast. The second one was weird, avoid multiple adjustments per line item, but you have things like tax adjustments and promotion adjustments that can apply to a line item. So that's multiple adjustments. That's going against what the ground rule was. And the last one, not overly complicate things. And I think you were paying attention in Jeff's talk when he said that Spree is extremely complex. We've got 6 different components. And it's just crazy. We've got 86,000 lines of code in Spree. How are you supposed to dig through that and figure out how everything works? I'm just quite lucky that... Oh, sorry. Missed that part. Let's skip that one. So anyway, Magento. Let's talk about Magento. Who here has used Magento? Who here likes Magento? Good. I like that. So these are some stats from the OLL site. And they have 484 commits made by 8 contributors. I can literally count them on 2 hands. At Spree, we have over 500 contributors. And it's representing over 8,194,000 lines of code compared with Spree. So it's 10 times bigger than Spree.
Make it 10 times better?
No comment. 8 million lines of code. Trying to grok through all that and figure out how it works, I don't know how people do it, but there are supposedly Magento developers out there, and there are actually developers out there that are using the Magento that don't hate their jobs. Those people are psychopaths. Because in Magento, you have PHP and you have XML. 17% of Magento's source code, 17% of that 8 million lines is XML. I'm very happy to report in Spree, we don't deal with XML. Active Merchant is the only part of our stack that deals with XML, and we don't touch that. So, adjusting adjustments. Sales tax. Now we've gone through the ground rules and the commandments. Let's talk about sales tax, and now you all fall asleep. Sales tax is just complicated. It's stupidly complicated. It's just super complicated. Right? Who here can tell me what the New York sales tax is for these 2 items? 2 items at $20. What's the New York sales tax on these items?
None. 0.
Why?
Because it's under $100.
Exactly. Clothing and footwear under $110 are exempt from New York City and New York State sales tax. Purchases above $110 are subject to a 4.5% New York City sales tax and a 4% New York State sales tax. Bullshit. So that's right. Sales tax is 0% for these items because they're both under $100. In Australia, we have a much more saner sales tax system. We have what's called the goods and services tax. Either you have the tax rate that applies or it doesn't apply. Simple as that. So it's an inclusive tax, which means that for these items, there's actually $3.63 of tax already included. You look at the shelf, you see the product, it says $19.99. You go to the checkout, checkout says $19.99 as well. In the EU, it's slightly more complicated than what we have in Australia. You have France, for example, which has a they have a $6.66 of VAT included on this because they have a 20% VAT. They also have a reduced VAT rate, and I forget the specific categories for it. I think it's like baby clothing and newspapers. They have a different VAT rate for those particular items. So it's slightly more complex than Australia, but not terrible. Germany has a 19% VAT rate, and again, different categories of items have different VAT rates. A little bit complicated. Let's talk about this country. This country, I love you guys, but come on, like, it's just crazy. It's just like, I don't even know what are you doing? Like, it's mental. This is a map of the US, and all the different colors are all the different tax rates that you guys have. You can't agree on a single tax rate for your entire country. Different cities, different zip codes have different tax rates. It's craziness. I clicked around a map of Washington, D.C., and here I can see 4 different tax rates. There's 5.3, there's 6, there's 5.75. And here's a map of Denver, just the Denver area. All the different colors mean different tax rates. Mental. So in America, what you end up paying is anywhere between $0 of sales tax and $4.68, depending on, if I stand here, it's $0. If I'm over here, it's $4.68. So that complicates things. So you call yourself the United States, but you have this kind of bullshit tax system. And if you want perfection on the tax system, basically we've thrown our hands in the air when it comes to tax in the US. So you should use either TaxCloud or Avatax to calculate down to the zip code proper tax rates. Please use those systems, they will help you out. So in Spree, how we handle these different tax categories and zones and rates. We have a tax category, then we have a zone, and we have a rate, and then we know what tax to charge on that particular item. So in clothing in Australia, we have a 10% tax. Simple. You have the tax category, you combine it with a zone, and you can work out what the rate's going to be. In New York, you have food, and in the New York zone, it's going to be 8.875%. That's very hard to do the math on mentally. That's why we have iPhones. So now about the old adjustment system. The old adjustment system, every time I looked at the old adjustment system, I would weep. Just a single tear. And I would go, it's not that hard. I'll just comment this bit, and next time I go look at it, it'll be better. No, it's like Groundhog Day, but evil. So in the old adjustment system, we had these 4 main things on the adjustment model. We had a source, we had an originator, which might be the same as the source, but other times it's not going to be, just because. And then we have the thing being adjusted, which we call the adjustable, and then we have the amount that it's being adjusted by, which can be either positive or negative. And this means for a tax adjustment, what you're going to have is the source being an order. Why? Don't know. Originator, tax rate. No, that makes sense. And the adjustable thing is going to be the order. How this all works is that the order model calls out to the tax rate model and says, hey, for this order, work out what the tax rate's going to be. Simple as. Except when you have the 3 different categories I talked about before. You have Australian tax rules, you have the EU tax rules, and you have the US tax rules. So in Australia, what we have is the taxes included in the price, and the default tax zone is the same as the order zone. So if you're in Australia and you're shipping to Australia, then you apply adjustments to every single line item of 10%. Easy. This is the old system. So what we have is $1.82 included in the first item, $1.82 included in the second item, for a total of $3.64. I believe that's right. If you're shipping from the EU to Australia, it works differently. So the tax is included in the price, value-added tax, but the default tax zone is not the order zone. So the VAT zone is not where you're shipping to. We then apply one big negative adjustment to the entire order. Instead of each line item, we apply an adjustment to the whole order. And that's just a bit confusing. So we have a $1.82 tax refund. Say it's a 10% VAT tax. So one whole order adjustment for $3.64 here, instead of one adjustment per line item. And in the US, you have taxes are not included in the price. It's actually an additional thing. So you apply one big adjustment to the whole order again. So here, if you have, I don't know even what the tax rate is in New York, so I'm just making up tax rates here in my slides. So let's just say it's 7%. You're going to have a $1.39 tax rate and $1.39, and then you have one big whole order adjustment tax rate again. So you have these kind of three separate ways of applying tax. You have either to the line item as a positive adjustment. You either then, if you're going from EU to Australia, for example, you have one big negative adjustment. And then in the US, you're also applying a positive adjustment to the whole order. And that's really, really confusing to work out. Even if you're just looking at the tax rate model, it's super confusing. This is a problem. Because if you want to work out what a specific item is costing you in tax, you can't do that without recomputing that. So in the new adjustments, we're changing it. So if you're operating in Australia or you're operating in the US, what you're going to have is a positive adjustment applied to each line item in the order. We no longer have a tax adjustment that's applied to the order as a whole. It's always applied at the line item, which means that if you want to refund a line item, is that someone clapping? Yes, thank you. I love you too. And then if you're shipping from the EU to Australia, then it's just a negative adjustment per line item. So then that makes calculating what items are costing you what tax very, very easy. So if you want to refund a specific item and you want to know how much tax did this item incur, you now know because you have it right there. So we have on the line item model, this is how we originally did it. We had a tax total column on the line item. And on the shipment, we also had a tax total. And on order, we had a tax total. But there's two different kinds of taxes. In the US, you have an additional tax. The price you see on the shelf is not necessarily the price you're going to see on the register. It's going to be a different price from that. In Australia, the price you see on the shelf in the EU and UK, you're going to see a price on the shelf. It's going to be the same price on the register. So instead, what we have is included versus additional taxes. So instead of tax total, we have included and additional tax totals on line items. And we have it also on shipments. And we also have it on the order. So if you want to know for an entire order how much tax the user has to pay, you can easily display that. So this means that if you're operating in Australia, you have a $3.63 tax included on the top line item and a $1.82 tax. So you have one adjustment for $3.63 and one for $1.82. And it's very, very easy to do the math. In the US, you have a 7% sales tax, wherever that is. And you have a $1.39, one adjustment per line item. Simple. So then we added the included attribute to the adjustment model, which means now you're able to tell if an adjustment is going to be, if it counts towards the final total or if it does not count towards the final total. And in Spree 2.2, we got rid of this confusing originator association. So now all we have is what's doing the adjustment, what's being adjusted, and how much it's being adjusted by. Way less confusing. I'll talk also about shipment adjustments. Earlier I said that shipments have to be taxed, and it's true, they do. In the old versions of Spree, we had a shipment adjustment, which was a shipping method. So you choose a shipping rate for a shipment, and then this adjustment would be applied to the shipment. And I thought, why does the cost of a shipment need to be an adjustment? Why not just store it as an attribute on the shipment? And then you can do shipment.cost, and you'll be able to work that out. So now in Spree 2.2, you'll be able to do this. Shipment.cost, there you go. That's the cost of your shipment. Taxation for shipments means that now shipping methods have a tax category. So if your country requires you to tax shipments, you can do that. You can say this shipping method has this tax category, and so therefore this shipping method also links to a zone. With the combination of the tax category and the zone, you can find out what that rate is going to be. Simple. So much more simple. So in Spree 2.2, we're adjusting line items when it comes to taxes, and we're also adjusting shipments. And they both go through the same method, create tax charge. So in the old version of Spree, we had shipment adjustments for the shipping rates, and now we have just the shipment adjustments, which adjust tax rates, and also promotions. I'll get to that later on. So tax adjustments can adjust a line item or a shipment. So much more cleaner. Promotion adjustments are something also that we worked on. In the new system, what we have is the source. Oh, sorry, this is the old system. We had a source being the order. I don't know why the source is an order. The originator was the thing doing the adjustments, and then we were adjusting the order. So this means if you had a 10% off for the entire order, you would have $2 off per line item, and then $2 off, and you would have one whole order adjustment for negative $4, $4 off. In Spree 2.2, you have one adjustment per line item, so you can then see, okay, this item was adjusted by $2, therefore I'm only going to refund $2. Very easy, very simple. I'm going to keep reinforcing that point because it's really, really good. In Spree 2.2, we now have a thing called promotion handlers. So we have this thing in between the order and the promotion called a promotion handler, and these are either cart, coupon, free shipping, or if they visit a specific page. So for a cart promotion handler, we find all the non-code or path promotions, check to see if that's eligible for the particular line item and order that we're evaluating, and then if it is, we'll activate the promotion for the line item or the order. A coupon code works basically the same way. You find a coupon code, you validate the promotion usage limit and eligibility, you attempt the application of it, and then you report if it's successful. Because if someone enters a coupon code and that coupon code is invalid, you want to give them feedback on that. You want to say it's expired or no such coupon code or something like that. Free shipping, people love free shipping. It's like, you buy $100 of our stuff and we'll ship it to you for free. We support that still. I'm very happy about that. So you're able to find all your free shipping promotions, check the eligibility for those promotions, and then activate those. Same goes for the page. You find the promotions. If you go to a specific page and you have an order currently, you check the eligibility of that promotion for the order and activate it. Simple. What we have also in the promotion system is this thing that we have to choose the best promotion for the item. So if a shipment has an adjustment or a line item has an adjustment and they have two particular adjustments that it can choose from. It has a 10% off adjustment from this promotion and a $10 off adjustment from this other promotion. If the line item's only going to cost you $10, then this means that the $10 off promotion is going to give you a discount of $10, but the 10% off is only going to give you an adjustment of $1. Therefore, the $10 off adjustment wins. But if the line item is going to cost you $150, then the 10% off is going to give you $15 off, and the $10 off is still only going to give you $10 off. Therefore, the $15 one's going to win. So we still do that. On the orders, the shipments, and the line items, out of all the promotions that are applied to those things, we choose the best one and apply that automatically. There's some discussion ongoing on this issue, 4270, if you want to look that up, if you've got a good memory. Looking at complex promotion rules. So if a promotion, not necessarily a promotion action or an action of that promotion, gives you a discount of free shipping and $10 off for your entire order, and another one gives you 10% off each line item, you want to pick which of those two promotions is the best. I'm not sure quite how to implement that, but I agree with the discussion going on in that thread. So in summary, let's go through those commandments again. How much time have I got left?
You have time.
Yeah? You sure?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
5 or 10 minutes.
5 or 10 minutes? You sure?
Yeah.
Yeah? Positive? Okay, good. So in summary, can you combine a free shipping promotion and a 10% off promotion? Yes, you can. You can do that right now. Spree 2.2. Commandment number 1, you want to keep the order-wide adjustments. We can still do that. We have a promotion action called create adjustment. Go ahead, use it, works. Discounts and credits. Yes, we do support discounts. We have supported discounts since I have joined Spree, since before that. So for 2 years, we've supported discounts. Credits, we've been talking about properly how to implement that system. Getting there, not quite yet, maybe 2.3, maybe a future release. Don't know, working on it. We know that you guys want that feature, and we're going to work on that. And group discounts are also in that credits area. We'll get to it. Shipping taxation. Yes, we can do that now. Shipments are taxed because they have a tax category, and they also have a zone, and combine those two, and you can get a rate. Refunding of items, so stock returns, is a feature we've been working on recently, so that will probably land in 2.3, so really soon. Adjustment freezing, well, it's always been that way. Once an order is completed, the adjustments are locked, can't be changed. VAT refunding, yes, we support that. Of course we do. We have to. Multiple discounts per order. How the system works now is you can have one promotion adjustment that wins out, and you have one credit adjustment that also wins out, and one taxation adjustment that, for that particular order. And a robust test suite. We have over 1,000 individual tests inside of the core, just the core alone. In backend, I think we have another 600, and front end, 300. So combined, we have almost 2,000 tests that are testing this thing. And we have that great test framework that we can build upon and do, and just keep testing this thing and making it perfect. We avoid excessive calculations in the new system. Instead of calculating for each line item and then summing that up and putting that on the order, when a line item is updated, we only sum that line item. We don't touch any of the other line items. So we avoid excessive calculations in that way. We avoid multiple adjustments per line item? Yeah, sure we do. We have one promotion adjustment, and it can win out against the other promotion adjustments. We'll have one credit adjustment, maybe. And then we'll have one taxation adjustment. Line item adjustments? Yeah, we do that. Some form of inheritance was commandment number Roman numeral 2. Inheritance-free zone. Inheritance, just every time I use this in a Rails application, I want to cry. It's painful. Take advantage of calculators and rules was Roman numeral number 3. We do that. An event should be scrapped. They're gone. No more active support notifications crap going on. Notifications should be scrapped. Again, gone. So now we have an adjustment system which is simple, it's consistent, it applies the adjustments consistently, and it's flexible. And that's it. I'm Ryan Bigg. Thank you so much.
Okay. You ready for it? No, hold on. So Ryan's going to take questions.
Yep.
And we have a couple people with microphones. So if, when you ask your questions, if you can try to use one of the microphones so everyone can hear, that would be great. And try to stay away from Roman numerals if you can.
Just let me run this command first. 1 second, guys. Any questions? Yeah?
Hi.
Hi.
What about handling tax adjustments on promotions?
Tax adjustments on promotions. Okay, yes, I should have probably talked about that. So the tax laws for many countries, and I think all countries, is that a promotion applies before the tax adjustment does. So if you have an item that is $10 and you apply a 10% off adjustment for that item, you're going to get it at a $9 cost, and therefore if the tax is, say, 10%, you get, if it's an included tax, you'll get like an 81-cent tax rate on that item rather than a 90-cent tax rate. So the tax is applied after the promotions are applied. And that's always the case as far as I know. That's, no, I'm just going to finish running this command. Just 1 second. Next question. Let's go.
Hello, my name is Jani Turunen from Finland, from
Hi.
Motley Agency. We've been using Spree for a while now, and we have a question regarding to distance selling of goods within EU. I don't know if you know what this means, but it basically means that there are tax or VAT thresholds per annum per country. So for example, if we have an online store in Finland, Finland's VAT is 24%. Anybody buying from our store in Finland gets charged 24% until the threshold limit for the destination country is reached.
Right.
So, for example, in Germany, that's, I think, is 100,000 euros.
Yeah.
So once per annum we go over that, we have to, by law, start charging the German VAT.
Okay.
Which is a pain in the ass, obviously.
It is, yeah.
Does Spree help us? Is there anything inbuilt there?
Spree doesn't...
Or what would you suggest we do?
Spree doesn't account for that at the moment. What I would do if you're going to go like a complex tax system like that, check out not TaxCloud because that's US only, but Avatax will do it, I think. So try and implement that with your store and see how you go with that.
All right.
Yeah.
One more thing. Your EU is missing the whole of Eastern Europe.
Yes, I couldn't. I noticed that last night.
All right. Thanks a lot.
I'm sorry. Oh yeah, by the way, 2.2 has just been released. That's the command I was running. Yeah, go ahead, please use it.
Hey, Ryan.
Hi.
My name is Ori Mickley. I'm with Tommy John. And what I wanted to ask is, I mean, I don't know if anybody else does this, but we run multiple promotions, and we actually expect to apply multiple promotions, not necessarily pick the winner.
Right.
But sometimes they should be cumulative.
Okay.
I mean, we have our own, kind of abomination that we've written into Spree to do that, but I wonder if 2.2 might simplify that for us.
Yeah, you can override the choose best promotion method in the item adjustment class and then customize your logic based on that. So you can say that free shipping and promotions should not apply cumulatively, but other promotions can. So if you just customize that method, you should be able to work it out.
So better than what we've got right now with the
Yeah,
older
the adjustment
version.
system is crazy. Well, 2.1. One here? Hey.
So I was going to ask when Spree 2.2 is going to be released,
Oh, you should ask that first.
but instead I want to ask any ideas about 2.3 because you've already mentioned a couple features. So maybe next week.
Oh my goodness. When it's done, like that's the Valve answer. So I'm going to give you the Valve answer. It's basically when it's done. We'll work on the stock return stuff, and that'll probably be the main feature of 2.3. We've got some clients that really, really want that, and the returns authorization system at the moment, another one of those systems that people have battled with and really hate to use, and it's not quite adaptive to what people want. So that's what we'll be doing in 2.3, and we've got some really good stuff planned for the future as well, past that. So yeah, 2.3 when it's done. Yes, up there. Oh, there's one up here too.
You mentioned that credits were a feature for Spree 2.3, but I also know there's an official Spree extension for Spree Store credits that you're an author of.
Yes.
Do you recommend that we stay away from that extension?
No, keep using that extension. Keep using it and then find out what's wrong with it, and we'll take out what's good and what's wrong, and we'll fix that and release that into core.
All right, I'm going to hold you to that.
Yeah. Please file issues about it. If you're not happy with something, an issue is the best way to tell us. Don't just stay silent. One here.
I'm confused about your discussion of stock returns. Are you saying that individual line items can't currently be refunded?
Individual line items can currently be refunded. Just calculating the tax that's owed on that and the promotion is just a complex system at the moment because we have the whole order adjustments that are going on. You apply a promotion, that goes to the whole order. You apply a tax rate, sometimes it can go to the whole order. Right. Calculating how much tax and how much promotion that one item is going to incur is super difficult right now. And with the new adjustment system, it's kind of working towards the stock returns feature to enable us to make that easier.
So the 2.2 answer is not just refund everything associated with the line item and ignore the order.
The 2.2 answer, I think, might be that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. One right back there.
So does the new adjustment system dramatically change the stack of which things are fired in the checkout system, the way that the functions are called?
Yes and no. So what we had before was that if a line item got added to the order, it would call the update attributes, and that would then trigger the order updater to go through and recalculate all the adjustments for all the line items all at once. What we have now is that a line item gets added, and that line item gets its adjustments calculated, and the shipment gets its adjustments calculated when those items are created or updated or even destroyed. So we have changes in that regard, so different things do get fired at different times. For further information, I'd need to look at the code and, yeah.
Are there any problems that you predict coming out of that? Are there any particular actions that you think, as store owners, we should be aware of? Like, if it's firing them individually on individual line items, are there actions that a shopper can do that will cause that to be a problem later?
Not that I know of, but if there are, please file an issue. That all?
There's one there.
One right there?
What about the upgrade path? I imagine, are there any migration issues? I noticed the data, you're changing the schema a little bit, so.
Yep.
Will historical orders be?
Yes, they'll be fine.
They'll all be
Apart from the
taken care of?
included tax thing, because we don't know historically if a tax rate is supposed to be included or not. So other than that, as far as I know, the migration path is seamless.
Okay.
Yeah. And again, file an issue if it's a problem. It's basically my answer to everything.
Thanks.
That's it. One there. Always in the middle. Jeff was right. I've been noticing it.
It's more of a curiosity, I guess, than a question. When you switch to line item calculations, how do you deal with rounding so that the total is the right total, even though the line items don't add up right.
Right. So in Australia, what we have in those line items that are $1.82, they're actually $1.81.75. So 81 cents 0.75. And therefore, what we do is around half up, which means that if it's above, if it's like $81.51, we round that up to $82. Right? Do you get what I'm saying?
So all the calculations have 2 more digits. So you
Yeah,
you get
2
the
or
right
more
number.
digits. That's it. If you want to adjust to a system that's not just 2 digits, just override that method, because I know different countries have different decimal amounts in their currencies. And even like countries like Japan don't have decimals. So override that method if you don't care about rounding.
Thank you.
No worries.
That it?
Am I done? Yeah. So
All right,
please
good.
use Spree 2.2.
Ryan, thank you very much.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.